Hi, everyone. This is Michele Graglia.
This is Marianne Hogan.
Hi, I'm Adrian McDonald.
I'm Katie Asmith.
Hi, this is Anthony Gasol.
Hi, my name is Meg Morgan.
Hey, it's Jordan Trove.
This is John Ray.
This is Ryan Van Duzer, and you are listening to the Gotta Run Racing Podcast.
Hey everyone, we are back with another Gotta Run Podcast. I'm Norm.
And I'm Jody.
Welcome back to the show. And we are getting excited because we are almost off to Slovenia.
Slovenia!
Why do you keep doing that?
Because it just seems natural that you have to enunciate.
Yell? I don't think they yell in Slovenia.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yes, we are off to Slovenia. Can't wait.
Me too.
Can't wait to run the trails of a different country and be surrounded by 2,000 people on the trail. What's the name of this race?
Ultra Trail Vipava Valley. And when we get back to Slovenia, we're going to be right into the Lost Treasure Trail Race, May 18th in Mansfield. Still spots available if you'd like to sign up.
Today, we're going to get right into it because we got a great guest. So who is on the podcast today?
Well, we're off to Slovenia soon to race Ultra Trail Vipava Valley on April 27th.
It's coming up.
It is.
I should start training.
It's going to be our first time there, and it came on our radar after we spoke to Canadian Galen Reynolds in episode 81. He lives and trains near the capital, Ljubljana. So we looked up the race to see who's been succeeding there over the years, and we came across Anze Sobocan. We don't know a whole lot about this part of the world or these trails, so we figure why not ask someone who's run the course. So we reached out to Anze, who not only has run the race several times, but he's completed every distance that they've offered since he started with them back in 2017, with several podiums, I should add. Anze is 39, he's from Slovenia, and he's sponsored by the Team Salomon Slovenia He loves to run with his dog, he's plant-powered, and he races mostly in Europe.
And that's what I like about our podcast, is that we chat with people all around the world to know what's happening in their neck of the woods.
As the tagline says, every runner has a story. Stick around as we get to know Anze and the UTVV race, and we're sure after you hear what he has to say, you'll put this race on your bucket list too.
And without further ado, here is Anze coming up.
Hi, I'm Jody.
I'm Norm.
Hi, I'm Anze. How are you? Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks for coming on today. I like your shirt.
Yeah, it's UTVV shirt. You will have one very soon.
That's right. What is it? 2 weeks yesterday.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. 2 weeks today. 2 weeks yesterday. Yes.
Yeah, we're very excited.
What year is that shirt?
I think this is 2 years ago. Last year they made a new logo, that warrior sign.
Yeah.
And before they had this gecko. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the gecko. Yeah, I like it.
The gecko. Yeah, gecko, not gecko. Sorry. Yeah, my start is on Friday evening.
Right.
And your start is Saturday morning, right?
Saturday morning, yeah.
So we hope to finish before you.
You have 12 hours head start. I think you will. But I think we will be in the finish around the same time, so we can meet there live.
Okay.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Well, we'll come and see you off, hopefully.
Yeah, great. If you're not too tired or something.
Welcome to the podcast, Anze, and welcome to Canada.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So we wanted to chat with you because we're coming to Slovenia for the first time. And since you run it every year since it began in 2017, we figured that you'd be able to share some secrets with us about the race.
Yeah, sure. I missed 2 editions. I think they started 2 years before, 2015 and 16.
Okay.
And I started, my first one was 2017.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, for our North American listeners, let us know how you started in running. How did you get interested in running?
I was in track and field when I was in primary school. That was like from when I was 11 for around 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stopped running for around 10 years. And when I started again, I was already around 30 years old. Trail running was just getting very popular in Slovenia. So I kind of got into that wave. First I was interested in road ultra running, but then I saw that these trail races were really, I like them more. So I still do some road ultra races, but when I discovered trail running, I really liked it. So I kind of stayed here more. And Vipava, Ultra Trail Vipava Valley was one of my first races
Right.
in 2017.
So how did that go your very first time ultra on trail?
It was really, really hard. I chose a 50-kilometer race. So it's the one you're doing now, only it was a bit different then. So what you're doing now is 60.
Mm-hmm.
But back then it was 50 because they changed the finish area. So you will do 10 extra kilometers. But it was really, really hard. At that time, 50K for me was just as hard as 100 mile is now. Like it was not so much a race as it was like a trip for the whole day, more or less.
Well, we're going to dive into UTVV soon. But first, we looked at your profile and we see that you've done quite a few races and some have piqued our interest. One of them was on my bucket list. I hope to do one day is Istria 100.
That was my first 100-mile race.
Yeah.
Before it joined the UTMB series. Now it's part of UTMB, but I did it in 2021. It's a beautiful race. I really like it. I chose it because it's set to be easy for a 100-miler. So if you want to start with 100 miles, it has relatively little elevation gain.
Oh my gosh.
I saw that Norman, you did UTMB, right?
Yep.
So Istria will be easy for you from that perspective.
Okay, good.
The elevation gain is just over 6,000 meters.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that is in feet, 18,000 feet or what's
So
that?
maybe I'll take an hour off my UTMB time.
I think you can take more off. But it just depends, last 20 kilometers are really runnable if you can run. If you still have the strength to run that part, you can do it really fast. But in my case, it was combination of walking and running. I couldn't run the whole thing anymore. So I had to do like 5 minutes of running, and then I allowed myself to walk for a minute or 2 minutes. My legs were too destroyed to run the whole. So it's kind of frustrating always when you have the runnable section, but you cannot run. For me, that's really frustrating.
It really is.
Yeah, so I would prefer to have another climb just to have an excuse for walking. But yeah, it is how it is. But people say it's easy. Maybe if the running part was in the beginning, then that would make it easier. But in the end...
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what drew me to that race specifically is that you start in a town that's 3,000 years old.
Oh, yeah, in Ljubljana, right?
Yeah, and it's the oldest start line, I think, in the world.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Well, 3,000 years old, that's old.
Yeah, that was probably part of Roman Empire, I would guess, at that time, as much of North Croatia has been. And that's not the only beautiful town. On the way, you pass many really old towns with a lot of stone houses, still, I would say, hundreds of years old buildings and roads. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, well, that's a great way to see a country because you run across the country, right?
You run across the peninsula in the west of Croatia. There is a big part of Croatia still on the inland to the east, but you run all over the peninsula. Wow. The Istrian Peninsula, it's really beautiful. I suggest that race too.
Because we have someone running across our country right now, and he hopes to finish in 100 days.
Oh yeah, your country is bigger, much bigger.
And I think that would be a great way to see a country is Croatia, is to try to run across it in 24 hours.
Yeah, it's a really nice place to see that part of Croatia. Yeah. It's really nice. The nature is nice, the villages are nice, and it's still not too popular. It's not so touristic that would turn you off. For me, it's small enough race that it still feels it's not one of those huge races where I feel more like they can't really give you no special treatment like those individual runners. But Istria is still, I think it still has that spirit.
Okay, well, sign me up.
Okay. Now, since it's part of UTMB, I think you have to hurry. Once they open, it just ended 1 week ago, I think. But once they open the registrations, don't wait too long. Like, it's not sold out immediately, and there is no draw. You can sign up directly. But this year, it was all of the distances were sold out.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Well, another one that kind of looked very challenging for you in terms of, I think it's your longest race to date is the Ultra Trail Monte Rosa in Switzerland.
Yeah, exactly.
It was about 33 hours, but you came third. So obviously it was a great race for you. Can you tell us about that one?
Yeah, it was one of my hardest races, definitely, in my life. I chose it because I'm not that drawn to UTMB for now. I kind of like when there are around 300 people on the start, that's kind of perfect for me. So everyone keeps asking me, when will you do UTMB? And for now, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So Monte Rosa, Ultra Tour Monte Rosa was one of the races that I saw that they usually have around a couple hundred runners on the start. That's the first thing why I was drawn to it. And it's really challenging. The altitudes are even a bit higher compared to UTMB. So the biggest pass is 3,300 meters.
Wow.
So I had some problems with high altitude. I couldn't breathe normally. I got some bleeding from the nose. I was coughing a lot. But still, I think I had less problems maybe than some other guys. So I finished okay, but you have to know the competition there is not as strong as some other races. So this third place, that's always relative to. It depends who is coming to the start. But I would suggest that race too. If you have time, if you have the opportunity, it's really, really beautiful.
What part of Switzerland is that?
So you start in Grächen. That's really near the border with Italy. And you actually cross the border and half of the race is done in Italy.
Oh,
That's
nice.
just north of Milano. Milano is a big city in the north of Italy. And just like maybe 100 kilometers to the north, this massive called Monte Rosa is located there, and you run all around it. Just like UTMB goes around Mont Blanc, this one goes around Monte Rosa Massive. And half of it is actually in Italy, but start is in Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Usually you finish your 100 miles in under 24 hours. But when you got to 24 hours at this race and now you're going into 26, 29, 30, what were you thinking?
Yeah, that was challenging. The whole time, my biggest challenge was, will I make it through without a nap or will I have to nap? And if I would have to sleep, the challenge would be, I don't know the feeling, what happens when you go to sleep and wake up again. Usually after the race, when I go to sleep, I couldn't run next day. So I didn't have to sleep, but I was very near the limit. So the second night around 3 it was really challenging. I wasn't sure if it's responsible for me to keep climbing the next pass that was also near 3,000 meters. But then they told me there is another aid station at the top. And if you have problems, you can rest there. So I went up and when the day started breaking, I started feeling better again as usual. Usually around 6 a.m. when I usually wake up. Also in the races, I kind of start waking up. So I could make that let's push without having a nap. But that was the biggest challenge, actually.
But this race gives you 60 hours to finish. That's a long time. You were never in trouble on cutoffs.
No, I think if I would DNF, it wouldn't be because of cutoff. I could never be on my feet for 60 hours. So I would probably drop out sooner. You know what I mean? Not that I'm not ready to stay out for that long. It doesn't matter. I don't think going slower would make it any easier for me. I already went really conservative. I went really slow and it paid off, I think. In the beginning, I was like going slow, but not too slow again, because I made the calculation. If I'm going to have to stay out for more than 35 or even 40 hours, then I would be in big trouble, I think.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with that if you're out longer?
Well, UTMB for me was the longest time on feet for me.
Yeah.
And I did not sleep at all as well. Maybe 5 minutes.
You didn't also, yeah?
No, but I did hallucinate. The very first time I hallucinated, which is very interesting. I recommend it.
Yeah, I believe it. It's like a drug maybe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared of that, yeah.
I'd be afraid of it happening when you're on the edge of the mountain.
Exactly. That's why I'm a little afraid of that happening.
Yeah, the timing is important.
Yeah, maybe if I'm thinking about doing Tour de Jean someday, but I'm not ready yet. So probably not next year, maybe in 2 or 3 years. But that's one of the big fears that I have. And I think you have to think in advance, when will you go to sleep, and plan that carefully.
That's right. Plan it. That's true. Yeah. My hallucination for me, luckily, was on a flat road going into a town. Yeah. And it was lucky for me. That's where I hallucinated. Some 9-year-old boy was waving me on with some 2 flashlights, and he was never there because I could never catch him. He was always ahead of me.
That was during the night?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. During the night. Oh, coming in about 4 a.m. Yeah.
That's crazy.
If I keep doing these races, it's probably just a matter of time when it happens, because I hear it from so many people.
Yeah. Well, today I thanked that little boy, whoever he was, because he got me into the town safe.
Yeah, with his flashlights.
Okay, so we are off to UTVV and we're doing the Gladiator 60K. Tell us, what are we getting ourselves into?
So I did this in 2017 and 2018 with a little bit difference in the last part. Actually, you're looking at one really big climb. The rest of it you have 3 or 4 smaller climbs, but one of them is really big and not runnable. I think you're better off power hiking that. And you do 1,000 meters of elevation gain, or even a bit more, 1,200 in one go for that big climb.
Mm.
That one is called Nanos. It can be really challenging when it's windy. If it gets windy, it could be really cold, or the winds can be really strong. That they could even move you a little bit. You have to be careful on the trails. But otherwise, it's not dangerous. There is a dangerous cliff, but it's like maybe 100 meters away from the trail. So if you stay on the marked trail, you're never in danger. But you shouldn't lose the trail. You should stay on the track.
Okay.
So it's really extreme. I've been there in extreme cold and in extreme heat.
Now, we heard you say that you find in this race, the shorter distances are actually more challenging than the longer. Is that true?
I mean, for me, it's that way. I think I am kind of more talented for longer races. I can't, if I try to go really fast, I just burn off really fast. Even 100K seems to be a bit too short to make a good result. So I have to slow down a lot, and then I can go for a really long time.
Right.
So right now, a 50K would be really challenging for me if I would try to go fast. I could do it slower, but if I would try to compete, I would say maybe a road marathon is maybe one of the hardest things I could imagine. And 50K is somewhere in that region.
That makes sense. Now, this race, between all the distances, there's almost 2,000 competitors. What's the atmosphere like?
It's great. It's really great. They're really good at making this a spectacle. They make you feel like they say for the last 2 years, they have this warrior, because this used to be in this valley. There was a famous battle, I'm not really sure, between Roman army and, I'm sorry, I don't know which one, thousands of years ago. Now they're using a bit of this atmosphere. So that's where this warrior thing comes from. And they make you feel like you're just about to enter the battle. They can pump up the spirits before the start. It's really great. And of course, the volunteers, the local people are so nice. So the volunteers are usually always the locals from the village where the aid stations are. So they are usually firefighters, because in Slovenia we have this tradition where there are professional firefighters and you have volunteer firefighters. And they are always helping with any kind of natural disasters, or when there is nothing wrong, they always help with events, all sorts of, so they can help with logistics a lot. Then we have mountain rescue service and just local people. Sometimes they set up their own little aid stations. If it's really hot, you can get water in the villages. Someone would just put a bucket outside their house. They would allow you to, they would offer you to cool your head in the bucket, or to just take a quick shower. Last year when it was really hot, in every village there was someone offering water. So yeah, the volunteers are really great, and the atmosphere of the race, I really like it. That's why I keep coming back.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were introduced to Slovenia through Galen Reynolds, who we chatted with on our podcast.
Yeah. I didn't see the podcast with him. I have to watch that. Yeah. I really love that guy. He's my idol in ultra running. From Tour de Jean especially. But I didn't see him, and I have to watch this.
Yeah.
Have you met Galen?
Not in person. Like we
No?
kind of missed each other always in all the races. I haven't met him in person. I just watched the his Tour de Jean, how do you say, like review from last year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I said, I'm thinking about doing tour, but every time I see someone writing about it or talking about it, I get scared even more. So I will have to give it more time.
Well, we could definitely, hopefully, introduce you guys together. Maybe he'll be there at the start line. We don't know
Yeah, you never know.
because he knows we're coming. So
Okay, that's great. You know each other from Canada, or
No, we only met him through the podcast, but
okay.
because of what he spoke to about with Slovenia, we started to look at Slovenia because to be honest, it's never been on our radar before. But the more that I looked into it, and actually looking at your ITRA, you have a lot of great trail races in Slovenia. So the community must be growing in terms of doing ultra races.
Hey guys, if you like what you're hearing so far, then check this out. Calling all trail runners to come on out to Mansfield, Ontario this May. The Lost Treasure Trail Race features both a 5 and 10K on the beautiful trails of the Mansfield Outdoor Center. As the story goes, the American outlaw Jesse James buried a barrel full of gold coins stolen from a train on his relative's property somewhere in the hills of Mulmer. You'll earn your very own coin medal when you cross the finish line. Registration is now open. For more info, go to GottaRunRacing.com. Now back to Jody and Norm.
Exactly. Community is growing and road races are suffering. You can see that. Like 10 years ago, there were a lot of road marathons, maybe 5 big road marathons that are now losing a lot of runners, and most people transition to trail. And it's really growing, and there are more and more races coming up. But right now, I think UTVV is the only one that has a 100-miler. So we have another big race that's part of UTMB, that's Julian Alps Trail Run, but they have their longest distance is 120 kilometers.
Okay.
But yeah, there are other races like shorter trails, all sorts of a lot of 100-kilometer races also.
Great way to see a country, like you said before.
that's how the best way.
Yeah, and north of Slovenia, the Alps just start here. Like we don't have the Alps like Austria or Italy or France, but we're just on the edge of the real Alps. So part of the northwest of Slovenia has really big mountains around 2,800 meters. This is the tallest one, the highest one. So it's all sorts of different. From the seaside, UTVV is somewhere in between, near the seaside, but the mountain range starts here and it goes towards the north. It's just getting higher. Yeah, it's nice. You can look up at other races too.
Yeah, I think we will be.
Yesterday, you attended the premiere of the Runner and the Race documentary.
Yeah, exactly. On Friday. Yeah.
Right. So you're featured in that. So how did that come about?
I didn't know about that they were even making the movie. So the main character in the movie is another runner, the local runner, Andi Mamić. Did you see the movie yet?
No. We don't know where to see it.
Okay. I think they will put it on YouTube. I hope they will put it soon. So the story is mostly about this local guy, Andi Mamić, a really, really great guy. And I didn't know they were making a movie. There was one team filming a lot during the race, but I didn't know what happened to the footage. But now I see that they made this movie. It's really nice. It's good. It's like 23 minutes. It's not too long to watch. And they made a good presentation, but it focuses on a 100-mile distance. It only covers the race. Last year it was 170 kilometers.
Right.
So it only focuses on that race.
Okay.
So are you excited? Like tapering now already, or?
Well, I'm tapering because I pulled a calf muscle a few weeks ago. So I haven't been able to get my really long runs in, but I'm still trying to work on my treadmill hiking because we live in 0 elevation. So,
but you have some hills or no?
Nope.
Not
no
really.
Hills. Okay, it's just treadmill then.
Yeah, we have some hills, but you wouldn't consider them hills. So yeah. So, but we're used to going to races with elevation. So I'm hoping that my endurance will just, get me through. And we're going to run together. Norman.
That's what I wanted to ask that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. this was my choice of race because last year, of course, we went to UTMB, which was his choice.
Yeah, okay. You were the supporter, or
Yeah. So
Oh no, she just drank wine and had chocolate croissant
at the
while I
aid
was out there
stations.
suffering.
Yeah, by your own choice.
exactly.
Good answer.
Yeah. But you were at the aid stations with him, or
No.
oh no. Oh no.
No.
Okay.
It's very challenging logistically to get around UTMB. So he said, don't worry about it. Just stay in Chamonix.
Exactly. My wife went with me to Monte Rosa, and I said the same thing. I will be more worried if you will get to those aid stations than me. So we had 3 drop bags, and that was more than enough for me. I could pick stuff up from the drop bag, and I was more relaxed knowing that she is in Grehen, the town where we
Drinking, right?
started, safe. Yeah, whatever she likes. But here in Vipava, she will support me a little at some aid stations. It's a lot easier. Everything is around the valley, so you just go from the valley, but that was around the mountain. So she would actually have to go from Switzerland to Italy. It would be harder for her than for me. So I said the
Yes.
same thing.
Yes.
I can imagine when you're at the start line of your race that everyone's looking at you saying, well, this is the guy.
No, I think this year there are around 10 quite strong runners. So we will see. It really depends on the day, how someone feels. On the tactics also, usually when there are 10 really good runners on the start, I always say 5 of them will do really good because usually another half of them goes too fast. That's usually what happens. So if I'm ranked 10th, I know, okay, I can do top 5 because normally the really strong guys, they kill each other in the beginning. They go one-on-one, and one will stay in the race, the other one will drop out. That's almost always the same thing. So I'm just really trying to start slow. It's long enough race that you can make up everything later. If you start slow, after 10 hours, nothing is decided yet.
Yeah.
But
So true.
you can lose so much in the last 50 kilometers. You can be losing 5 minutes every kilometer if you walk and someone is jogging. So in 10 kilometers, you almost lose 1 hour. So, but sometimes it's hard. Everyone starts so fast and you have to control yourself. So last year until, I don't know, I took the lead in around 90 kilometers only.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. That's good strategy there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it's really hard. When you see them go and you could go, it's not that it's so fast that you couldn't follow, but you know that later on it will get hard to go this pace. So you just have to kind of hope that maybe you catch them, but it doesn't matter. To enjoy the race. You really can enjoy more if you start slow. You can enjoy the part at the beginning, and even when it gets hard, it doesn't get so hard.
Right.
It's hard, but you can still move normally, and if you can move normally, I think it's easier to handle the suffering. But if it really destroys you, I had that experience many times. When you feel that you really made a mistake in the beginning, then it's mentally really hard.
Yes, of course.
Do you have any bucket list races now, and perhaps something here in North America?
Oh, North America, not yet. Sorry. That's I am slowly spreading from Slovenia outwards. One race I'm following in North America every year is Iditarod, that goes through Alaska.
Yes.
With the dogs, but also you can do it on skis and on mountain bike and just on foot. Because my wife's father, he did it, I think 2 or 3 times, the shorter version, the 300 mile. Okay. So I follow it every year a little bit, but I'm thinking about Tour de Jean, but that one is not even at the stage when I start thinking about it. So this year I have a similar race to Monte Rosa. It's called Cervino Matterhorn Ultra Race. And its start is in Italy and it goes around Matterhorn. That's one of the European mountains. Yeah. You know, the one on Toblerone chocolates? I don't know if you know.
Yes.
The iconic one, yeah. So it goes all around that mountain. It's very similar to Ultra Tour Monte Rosa, 170 kilometers and similar elevation gain, around 12,000 meters.
And when is that race?
That's the end of July.
Okay.
I'm already signed up. Galen did it last year. Galen Reynolds finished 4th last year, I think, but he did better 2 years ago. He was on the podium, I'm almost sure.
Oh,
He's kind of, that's why I like Galen. I like the kind of races he likes. Maybe he did UTMB, but the like Monte Rosa, now the Cervino Matterhorn, or maybe Swiss Peaks Trail, and of course Tour de Jean. These are the kind of races I like, the really, really challenging ones that are kind of also technically challenging, but a bit more remote. It's weird to me, but the popular races, some people would do UTMB again and again and again. The same people do it 5 times. And I'm like, there are so many other races. Why don't you try something else? But everyone does UTMB and they keep doing it.
Yeah.
And for me, it's if I do UTMB, the first one on my list is TDS, but not this year yet. We will see.
No. Especially the mountain races, because you have a mandatory kit, and that's not something we're used to over here, you know?
You don't have any?
No.
We do 100 miles with a handheld.
Yeah, I know that the Scott Jurek had always had these bottles, but now most people would have hydration vests, right?
Most people.
Still not.
Here.
Still not.
Not here. No.
Oh, really?
Not the pros. They can still get away with the little bit of equipment, but
Even the Western states, you just
Handheld.
okay, and you have enough aid stations for the water and everything. Okay, no, here it's really strict. The mandatory gear is always, you need quite a bit to pack everything.
Yeah.
UTVV, so you have hydration vests, right?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, UTVV has some. Of course, you did UTMB. UTMB has some. It's not too strict. I mean, it's not too much. The classic things. You don't have that much in 50K, in 60K, but.
Well, we hope to see you there at the start line or the finish.
Yeah, at the start line, if you come there, you'll probably be there an evening before. And at the finish, I think I'm not sure how fast you will do it. I'm planning to do it in around 22 hours.
22,
So
and you start at 7 p.m. on Friday?
7 p.m., so 5 p.m. on Saturday.
And what time do we start?
I don't know.
And you start 7 a.m.
Oh,
Start 7 a.m.
Pretty close.
Yeah, and in any case, I will stay there definitely for a bit longer until the evening, and probably you will too. Like, it's a great atmosphere to have a beer maybe or whatever in the
I
finish.
was just going to ask you, what is the beer of choice? What's the preferred beer?
Oh, that's a hard question. I think they have some local breweries, probably, but always there is this, is that the craft beer that you get directly in? So I don't know the brand, but it's always a good beer.
Draft beer.
Draft.
So that's the one that you get directly from the pipe, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's the one that is definitely okay. I'm not really a specialist in beers, but sometimes you even get, I think, in a goodie bag, or maybe for some locally, there are a lot of local breweries in Slovenia right now. They have definitely a couple. So you can try some special beers, not just lagers.
Awesome.
It'd be funny if we actually came in at the same time.
Yeah,
exactly, running together.
Yeah, I definitely hope we'll see each other. Yeah, you can time it. I don't promise anything. I will just try to be there as soon as possible. But yeah, this 22 hours is, you never know. In 100 mile, it can be 2 hours more easily. Something goes wrong and it's not 5 minutes.
No, of course. No, we'll worry about the timing. You don't worry.
Okay.
You focus on your race. We'll worry about the timing.
Yeah, and of course, the most important thing for me is to get to the finish. That's not self-evident, or how do you say? It's not a guarantee. The race you're doing, it's not extremely technical. It's quite safe. But the other part of the race, when we go down to Vipava and then you go to the finish. So the first part that we do is exactly the same as the one that you do.
Okay.
We start, first 50 kilometers for me are the same as they are for you. Then you turn left to the finish and we continue. And during the night, there is one ridge that has some technical parts that could be dangerous, not like that your life is threatened, but you could sprain the ankle or you could fall. So I just really, first thing is I hope I get to the finish, and the rest is, we will see.
Well, if we get there before you, we're not going to cross until you come, and then we all cross together.
Oh, really? No, come on. You can wait there after the... yeah, but I wish you the same, that you have a really safe and pleasant race.
Thank you.
Because I think you can enjoy it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we will for sure. Well, before we let you go, we have a couple of fun, quick questions that we like to end our podcast with.
Great.
Okay. What's your favorite snack at an aid station? Because I know you're plant powered, so you have to choose wisely.
At the aid station, I normally don't take anything, or maybe some potato chips, something salty.
Mhm.
But in the drop bags, I always prepare my beetroot sandwich.
Beetroot sandwich.
Yeah, it's white bread. Always, you don't want too much fiber.
Yes.
So I take white, just bun. And inside I put mayo, vegan mayo, and cooked beetroot.
Mm.
Sometimes there is this funny feeling in the stomach when only Coca-Cola will help.
Okay. Do you have any tattoos?
Oh yeah, just one.
Just one?
So this is the course of my first road marathon.
Oh, really?
I learned that I still think that road marathon might be one of the hardest things that you could do.
Nice.
Okay.
Would you rather be a professional artist, musician, or painter? Writer.
A musician?
Musician?
Oh, which one's musician, writer, and
Artist.
what was
Like
the other
painter.
one? No, I'm choosing between writer and musician. So, but I think that I would be a writer. Okay, that's my final question,
answer.
because I know I couldn't be a
This is
musician.
supposed to be rapid fire.
could-
Rapid fire.
Yeah, but it's hard. I know it's hard work because I've tried it, and I know it's a lot harder than it
Of
seems.
course.
So you need hours and hours and hours of writing and deleting and rewriting. And
Okay, you're on the trail and you stub your toe on a rock. What's your curse word in Slovenian that you say?
I would probably just say fuck, because that's in
Slovenian?
Slovene we use. No, it's not, but we use a lot of curse words from English, and I think this would be the one.
All right, Norm, final question.
Pick a superpower that you'd like to have.
Time travel would be good.
That's
That's
my
his
favorite.
favorite.
in the past.
Yes.
In the past, because physically we are able to travel in the future, but going in the past, that would be a superpower.
Then my final question would be, if you could go back in time, what period would you like to go to and why?
Different periods, but really like to know how people really live. Maybe just here in my village right now. I would really like to see it in medieval time, or maybe
Medieval, yeah.
whatever time, how they really lived. Because what's fascinating for me is 5,000 years ago, people was just as intelligent as we are now.
Yes.
But I don't know exactly what period. I would check the history books. There were no wars. So then I would go to a period.
No wars, no disease, no famine.
It would be really hard. Maybe a couple of years in every century,
Every
century
century,
probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Anze. It's been great getting
Thank
to
you.
know you better, and we're looking forward to meeting you in the.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to meeting you in person. But thanks so much for inviting me to the podcast.
Yeah, it's been great.
And I will look at more. Since you invited me, I had a look at a few, but not all of them. So I definitely want to see Galen Reynolds, but I will look at others. So yesterday evening, me and my wife watched, not the whole of it, the guy that did 3 marathons in 3 days.
Yeah.
That was really fascinating. So I will have a look at more of your podcasts.
Okay.
Definitely.
Awesome.
We hope to see you there. Well, we will see you there.
Yeah,
We
me too.
will.
Okay, we will see you there.
Okay. Thanks. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye. You have a great day, right?
Thank you. And that was Anze Sobocan.
So what do you think? Now that he explained the race and the course, did you feel more confident?
I wouldn't say more confident. As he was saying, the 1,000-meter gain in that one hill, which I knew. I tend to look at race elevations when I sign up for a race, and then I try to block it out of my mind, because seriously, what can we do here in Ontario that's going to replicate that? But as he was saying it, I was thinking, what was the longest climb that we did on Tour de Mont Blanc? Do you remember?
Run the Alps?
Yeah.
I think it was 1,000, and
Right.
it took us about 3 hours or so.
Did it?
I don't know, but
Yeah,
I do know that section of the course he's talking about, it's 10 kilometers straight up.
No.
I think so.
Okay, no, I didn't need to hear that.
So, yeah.
10 kilometers. No.
Well, nevertheless, it doesn't matter.
It's one big climb.
It's one foot in front of the other.
And it's early on. That I know.
It's 20K mark. Yeah.
Yeah, early on. Nevertheless, we're going to have a great time. We're going to drink some Slovenian beer.
Eat his desserts.
We're going to try that dessert. We're going to have a blast.
Yeah, and I can't wait to meet him at the finish line or the start. Or cross together at the same time.
Which would be pretty awesome. Anyways, we hope you enjoyed that episode and stay tuned. We're going to take a little break for our race vacation in Slovenia. And we'll be back in May.
And I hope this race is now on your bucket list.
Well, it might be after we do a video.
Yeah, never know. Until next time.
Cheers.
Bye.